It's mailbag time here on Chicago Bears Now. I am your host, Harrison Graham, ready and eager to answer all of your questions. So load them up, hashtag Bears or Super Chat. Michael Ortman sends in a bear emoji. That's what's up. Quinn and Foles to Seattle for Metcalf in a 5th or 6th. You're not getting Metcalf and a pick for Foles and Quinn. I think it would have to be Quinn, Foles, and like a 2nd for Metcalf. Like, guys, DK Metcalf is really good. You're not getting a pick back. First of all, Foles doesn't really add – Foles maybe adds a 6th or 7th to the trade. So, I like your thinking, but the trade value is not quite there. JM Cuber, would you trade for Mike Evans or DK? I would trade – I'm interested in both. It depends on value. It depends on a lot of things. But more interested in DK because he's younger. But Mike Evans, haven't heard that one mentioned before. I think he would fit what this team wants to do. Vertical weapon, good speed, big frame, good hands. I like Mike Evans a lot. Amos Goldberg, Bears receive 15 overall pick. Ravens receive 2022 second and a 2023 third. Not enough. To jump up from 39 to 15 and you're only adding in a third. There's NFL draft charts out there. Draft Tech is a good one if you guys want to go check that out. That they put point values on every single pick. You're not close to what it would take to get up to number 15. You would have to throw 39, 48, and probably one of your 5ths, and maybe even like a future 3rd or 4th instead of a 5th. Like it's going to take a lot to get into the top 15. Quinn for Defensive Player of the Year. If we have a 5 or 6 win year, could we look into drafting Jaxon Smith-Njigba or Jordan Addison from Pitt? I don't know Addison as well. I'll have to watch him. Jaxon Smith-Njigba, though, growing up here and living here in Texas, watching him play Texas high school football, the numbers he put up here were insane. And then what he's done at Ohio State, especially this last year, he put up bigger numbers than Olave and Wilson this year. Now, they were getting more attention, but guys, Jaxon Smith-Njigba is special. Like, I am very interested in drafting him next year. Good question. I'm glad you mentioned it. Riley Serbosic. Could the Bears trade for A.J. Brown or DK Metcalf or try to rock with this wide receiver core? Well, they're not going to rock with simply what they have. They will add something somewhere. You simply don't have enough bodies, number one. But it's possible they don't make any major additions. It could be, Mooney, Pringle, and a middle-of-the-road draft pick with Equanimous St. Brown and maybe a cheap free agent. It could be something like that. I hope they add something a little bit better, whether it's in the draft or free agency. I'll continue to say I'm interested in trading for DK. I'll believe it when I see it. A.J. Brown doesn't sound like he's getting traded, but until he gets an extension, it's possible. Both those guys would be tremendous in this offense. Alan Mack, our Dublin pal. Appreciate the question. If Chris Olave falls past 22, would you use next year's first-round pick and 47 to move up? It's 48, but the sentiment is there, Alan. I don't think Poles is going to trade a future first. He doesn't want to, and I don't blame him. Pace did that a ton, which sometimes it makes sense. Sometimes you're the Rams and you're like, screw the picks. We're winning Super Bowl. We're competing for Super Bowls every year. Bears aren't there yet, so you don't do that right now. You want to get blue chip players. Your best chance of doing that is having first-round picks. So don't think you would trade a future first. But, Alan, if they fall to like 26, 27, if Olave's there in the 20s, you could trade both your 2s or a 2 and a 3 and maybe go get them. Because the more he slides, the less you have to trade to do so. How many rounds of the NFL draft will you watch? We'll cover all 7 of them, by the way. But how many rounds will you watch of this year's NFL draft? Let us know down in the comments. I hope all 7, and I hope you join us for round 1 on April 28th on our main Chat Sports YouTube channel. You'll see me over there, Chase Sr., Tom Downey, Mitchell Renz. The whole Chat Sports crew will have some coverage of every single pick of the NFL draft, so subscribe and join us on YouTube, youtube.com/chatsportstv. Also join us on Rumble. We'll be live on both platforms, have draft coverage live. Rumble.com/NFL Daily. That's our main Chat Sports NFL Rumble channel, so check that out. Also, we will have Bears coverage. Not sure exactly when we'll go live. I think we'll probably go live for day 2 because the Bears have 3 picks within 25 selections. YouTube.com/BearsNow. Subscribe and join us. We'll also be live on Rumble whenever we go live, which is what we always do. We're live right now on Rumble. Rumble.com/BearsNow. If you've already subscribed to the channel on YouTube, support us on Rumble. Go follow us. Rumble.com/BearsNow. Also, Rumble.com/NFL Daily. We got you guys covered with the best draft coverage in 2022. Chris Techno, Alec Pierce, thoughts? I like him. He's growing on me. 6'3", 210. Good speed. Good hands. Can run good routes. He's a dude, man. I like him at 48. I wonder if 39's a tick early. Love him at 71. I don't think he's fallen that far. But, yeah, I mean, he's a guy I would take in round 2. Tiger 2308, who will be our backup quarterback next season? Trevor Siemian. What is your opinion about drafting some quarterbacks in the 4th or 5th? Don't have a 4th-round pick, not drafting one in the 5th. You don't need to draft a quarterback. You've got Justin Fields, Trevor Siemian. Siemian will be the backup. Nick Foles will get cut or traded, and then you've got Ryan Willis as your practice squad guy. I could see them, Tiger, bringing in an undrafted free agent to compete with Willis as QB3, either as a late back into the roster guy or a practice squad quarterback. I think that's pretty likely, but you're set at backup quarterback. Trevor Siemian has started games in this league. You don't need to draft one. Caleb Palifas, although Robert Quinn could leave to good draft capital, I think that polls might view him as leader on and off the field. Thoughts? Yeah, absolutely. Look, you don't want to trade every single vet you have just for the sake of getting younger. You still want to have those veteran leaders, but that doesn't mean I wouldn't trade Robert Quinn specifically, even though I agree with what you're saying. I think he can help some of these young guys go through this transition year as this new culture gets integrated into House Hall and into this Bears franchise. So, look, it's a win-win. If you keep him, you still have a productive player and a leader, a guy who's done a lot in this league. If you trade him, you get a draft pick. So that's kind of how I view it. Joe Johnson, is this ISO Joe? Is there a dark horse draft target in round 2 that's not an offensive lineman or a wide receiver? A guy I'm interested in, and I don't know if he'll be there in the 2nd round, although Todd McShay had him falling to 50-something. Florida cornerback Kyer Elam. He's a weird prospect because I've seen mocks have him go as high as 15 and as low as like 60. It's very strange. But he's 6'1". He ran a sub-4.4. I think he ran a 4.39 in the 40. He's got pretty good ball skills, needs to improve a little bit there, but the athletic traits are there. He played in the SEC, so he's gone up against good competition. I like the skill set. If he's there in the 2nd round and there's not a receiver or O-lineman you like with one of those picks, corner makes a lot of sense. Kyer Elam's a guy that could come in and I think start right away. Favorite draft prospect that isn't a wide receiver or an offensive lineman. I like Kyer Elam as a potential guy. Roger McCreary at corner is another player I'm interested in. Let me know down in the comments, outside of the top 2 needs, which continue to be receiver and offensive line, who is your favorite draft prospect at a different position. JF1 Bears forever. Do you have Darnell Mooney getting 1,200 yards next season? There's no reason why he can't. I mean, he had over 1,000 last year, and this offense was anemic. Like, I can't explain how bad it was. Yeah, like, especially if he's your clear-cut number 1, which he is right now. If he's healthy for all 17, he should have 1,200 plus. I'm setting that standard for him. I think he can be a number 1 in this league. If he goes out and proves it, 11, 12, 1,300 yards, 8 to 10 touchdowns, he'll be established at that point. That would be back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons under different offenses. I have high hopes. I think Darnell Mooney could be entering superstardom this year. Ashton Cooperation, get our first back from the Giants for 48, a 2023 second, a 2024 first. I'm not trading future firsts. And I don't think Ryan Poles is either. I just, they want to be set up well in future drafts. Transition year. That's what this year is. This team could win 5 games. It could win 10 games. I don't know. But, they're showing us that they want to be flexible for 2023 and beyond, both in cap space and in draft capital, which, quite frankly, is probably a good move. I want to remind you guys to subscribe, youtube.com/BearsNow. We have videos that go up on the channel every single day here on YouTube. News, rumors, trade ideas, free agency, mock drafts, other draft videos, Q&As, live shows. We do it all here on YouTube. We also do it all on Rumble, rumble.com/BearsNow. If you've already subbed on YouTube and want to support the show in another way, give us a follow over there. And join us over there because we have some exclusive content that gets published only on Rumble. So rumble.com/BearsNow. Go ahead and check us out. Josip Edabasic, when the Bears will sign a corner or a first team. Safety? I don't know. You need another safety. You definitely need cornerback help. Hopefully soon, Josip. I think a lot of teams are kind of saying, okay, hey, if you guys don't sign anyone, neither will we, and then we can just focus on the draft and then turn free agency back up in May. I think a little bit of that does happen. There will still be some signings among the NFL teams over the next 3 weeks, but, you know, we're starting to enter draft mode right now. But, yeah, those are needs that the Bears need to fill, whether it's in free agency or in the draft. Eric Bonneau, what's the earliest in the draft you would spend a pick on to get the punt god? Matt Araiza. Man, I wish the Bears had less needs to fill because whoever gets him is going to have an elite punter for at least the next decade. And I think that's underrated. A guy that's going to boom it 50-plus every time, you know. And punter's a spot we don't really know about. Pat O'Donnell's gone. They have some guy I've never heard of. Maybe he'll end up being good, but they may have to go sign someone anyway. So, you know, if he's there in the 6th round in the rest of your draft you feel good about, maybe you draft him then, but I just think the Bears have too many needs to draft a punter. TD Productions gets the final word unless we get a super chat. Unpopular opinion, but I say we stay away from Jahan Dotson if he's available. Too small, and we already have Mooney. I'd rather have a big receiver like Pickens, Pierce, Watson, etc. I don't think that's a crazy idea. I do think you're probably right. It's probably somewhat of an unpopular opinion. I would like Jahan Dotson, but I get your point. Like, Alec Pierce would be fun. George Pickens, Christian Watson, if they reach their potential, that gives you a different look on offense. So I get the sentiment, but if this regime feels like Dotson's a better player than those guys and he's available, then that's the player you should draft.